Hey everybody, this is Kirsten here. Thank you so much for joining me on this new episode of the Balanced Vibes podcast. This episode is probably one of the last ones this year. So if you have been listening to me or watching my YouTube videos this year, thank you. Thank you so much for your support. If you have been a follower for even longer, that's even more awesome. So I really, really appreciate you. And thank you so much for being here today as well. Today, we're going to talk about a couple of different topics. It is a mix of different things. As you know, a lot of the times I get my inspiration from the conversations that I'm having with people in real life, or mostly on Instagram or Facebook, or in private messages on Facebook, but also from my own personal life. So today's topics are taking a gym break, if you have to do this, how you deal with this. We're also going to talk about discipline, which is really important. It can be used in a couple of different ways, and one is better than the other. And we're going to talk about discipline a little bit more today. And also, we're going to talk about healthy habits for life, because I don't want your fitness journey and your health journey and weight loss, fat loss be like a temporary, kind of like a 1 month thing. You get it done and then you go back to your old habits. We want to build healthy habits here. So today is a mix of topics. I hope you stick with me because all these things have come up in my life recently, and I just wanted to put them together. It's a little bit different than usual, where I'm doing, one big topic at a time, but this is what we're doing today. Before I get started, I wanted to invite you to join me in my Fit and Field Facebook group. This is a really great group, and I share a lot of information there. It is a totally free group, by the way, but you will have to request to get in, and you have to answer two simple questions before you can be approved. But join the group. We have a lot of conversations there. Lately, a lot of people who have joined have had the history with, intermittent fasting and low carb eating. We're going to talk about low carbs in the next few episodes soon. But a lot of people coming from this background and having a lot of questions, and they don't always even ask in the group. They ask via messages, and I have done several videos lately on these topics. So if you have this history of eating low carb, intermittent fasting, temporarily seeing results, but then the results stopped, then this is definitely the place for you. Also, if you have been dieting in some other ways and you got temporary results but they didn't stay, and you're feeling tired and burned out, there is a way out, and there are a lot of people in the group like that. So if this describes you, then make sure that you join. I think you're going to find it very valuable. And also, I am doing live videos there every Monday, at least once a week. At least Mondays, I do a video there, live training, talking about different kinds of topics. Last one I did was how to do carb cycling properly and correctly, because this is not what most people think it is. A lot of people have this experience with carb cycling where they were told to eat like 30 to 50 grams of carbs 2 days a week, or even more than 2 days a week, and they felt absolutely horrible and like, oh, this is carb cycling, but it's not. So I'm actually teaching you the correct way to do carb cycling in a way that's actually helpful for you. So this was the most recent topic this past Monday, which was yesterday. So join the group. That's the only way you can see this video, this training video, and I can also send you the PDF that I have put together based on this video. So if you are interested, make sure that you join. All right, so today, like I said, is going to be a mix of different topics that we're going to cover. And first, let's talk a little bit about taking a break from working out. And I want to tell you that if you are doing mostly resistance training, then if you have to take a week or two off, it's really not that big of a deal from your physique perspective. Now, I'm actually dealing with this right now myself, because I had a little dental surgery and I had to take 2 weeks off. So I've already had two of these surgeries. After the first one, I had to take a week off. And the second time, I had to take 2 weeks off because this was a little bit more serious. And right now, I'm at the end of that 2 week no gym period. And they wanted to make sure that, that no issues will come from that. So they're like, hey, don't go to the gym, don't lift heavy stuff, don't go for a run and all that, just be more, rest more and do that kind of, relaxing stuff. I've been walking a lot. I've been going to a couple of dance classes, but nothing serious at all. So I gotta tell you, I have not enjoyed this at all. But at the same time, I'm not obsessed with like, oh my God, I'm gonna die if I cannot work out. And this is so different from the past. So as you probably know, in the past, I was very, very obsessed with exercise, lots of cardio training. And I use this to keep my weight in control, right? To keep my weight in check, so to speak. And I was terrified if I had to take a week off. I could not ever do this. I thought I'm going to put on weight immediately. And this is, I just cannot handle this. So I would force myself to run even when I wasn't feeling great, even something's going on. And God forbid somebody, interrupted my schedule and I couldn't get the workout done. That was the end of the world, let alone taking one full week off or even 2 weeks off. Oh my God, that would have been awful. So I got to tell you that now it's, like I said, I'm not enjoying this break. I have good energy. I would like to go to the gym. I would absolutely love to do it. And I just feel like my muscles need some work, right? I just feel like I need to like squeeze something or push something or, like move because this is just what I am so used to doing, but I'm not supposed to, so I'm not gonna. But I will tell you that the challenge, it's even bigger like mentally, because I just know how good exercise makes me feel. And it really isn't about body obsession. It really isn't at this point anymore about like, will the scale go up? Because I don't know. I don't care. I don't think it will because I don't feel any different. And this is only possible because I've done a lot of resistance training. And if you've done a lot of resistance training consistently, you know this. Exactly, right? It's not that your body weight is going to jump up. It's not that you're going to put on a ton of fat and weight. None of this is going to happen if you take a week or two off, versus when you rely only on cardio and you kind of force your weight down with that all the time, then you're likely going to put on weight easier if you have to take a break, right? So that's the difference there. Now, I definitely don't want to tell you that you should just take breaks all the time. Oh, just take a week off here and there, and take 2 weeks off. You don't have to do. I'm not saying that at all, because consistency is really, really important. And I'm telling you that I can't take 2 weeks off. And it's not a big deal because I have been so consistent with resistance training for a very long time, right? So if you're still struggling with consistency, then you have to get better at that. This really is the key to your success. You cannot expect to get results, and you cannot have this kind of metabolic flexibility when you have not put in the work and when you have not been lifting weights consistently, made that a lifestyle. It really has to be this way, right? So it's interesting also that the exercise part, like I said, it's almost mentally, it's harder than physically, because I've been doing this for a long time. And I just talked to my friend who also has a very long fitness background, and she was sick the past couple of weeks, and she said too that, yes, I just feel like something's missing in my life. I want to go and work out. This has just been like such a big part of my life, and it's nothing like obsessive. It's nothing like I have to keep my body in check. I have to like control and tighten up, and oh my God, I cannot eat now. It's none of that. It's just that we have built this habit, we have built this consistency, and now when this is gone, it's just a little bit uncomfortable. But on a physique level, nothing bad is going to happen if you have done your workouts. If you have built a strong body, you have a lot of muscle, then a couple of weeks off, it's not going to throw you off that bad at all. So if this is you and you need an occasional break, just chill. It's okay. Nothing bad is gonna happen as a result. Only just, yeah, it's mentally tough. So I really want to go. I can't wait. I have a couple more days before I can go back to the gym. Okay, but that actually brings me to the next topic, which is discipline. And of course, we all need discipline in order to get results, no matter what area of life that is, whether it is fitness or career or I don't know, anything. You want to build a house or start a garden or whatever. You just have to do certain things consistently, right? And be disciplined, because you probably already know, everybody talks about it, that motivation is just short term. Everybody's motivated January 1st, but then what happens after that, right? So motivation and discipline are two different things, and sometimes you just have to discipline yourself to get certain things done. And those who have this fitness habit, right, they have trained this discipline for many, many years. So if you're talking to somebody who's like, yeah, actually, I want to go to the gym because this is the place where I feel good and my body feels great when I go there, my mind feels great. It's not because they are always motivated. It's because they are disciplined. They have been disciplined for a long time, and now it has become a habit. So you have to practice discipline. And now discipline can be seen and used in a couple of different ways. And I think it can also be used wrong, and it can also be used right. So first of all, there's this discipline that's rooted in kind of like it's forced, and it's rooted in self-hate, and punishment, right? That's the first one. And a lot of people like to use that, especially at the beginning of the year, oh my God, I'm so gross. Look at me. I just hate myself. I can't look at myself in the mirror, the photos. I gross myself out. I hate myself. Now, let's get super strict and let's get super rigid and, tighten up and not eat anything or go low carb or go keto and, train 7 days a week. This is that kind of discipline that is not going to give you the result that you were hoping for, because the core, the what it's rooted in, this is just something really negative. It's punishment mentality, right? It's self-hate mentality, and it will never have a good outcome. It will never have a good outcome, and you just are not going to do it because you're going to choose a very restrictive way of getting to your goal, and there it's just so restrictive that you cannot do this. You're just not able to do this, something ridiculous. So if you haven't worked out in a while and then you're going to tell me I'm going to start working out 7 days a week, sorry, it's probably not going to happen. And because you use this angry punishment discipline, it's not going to go well. Now, we can also use this discipline differently. And when you use it in a way that's coming from, self-respect and self-care, and I want the best for myself, this discipline is a lot better way to go about it, and you are way more likely to stick with these goals that you set for yourself. So also maybe you lower the amount of training that you think you're going to do, or you're not going to be as restrictive about your food. Maybe you set a goal of going to the gym 3 days a week and make some kind of like one dietary change and try to stay disciplined with that, right? So start with small things. All my new clients, especially those who come to me, I haven't exercised, I don't know what a macro is, I don't know any of that stuff. I'm not going to ever tell them that, you got to be disciplined to eat like 130 grams of protein and 70 grams of fat and 150 grams of carb. I'm not going to do that and, tell them that you got to live 3 days a week. We're going to start with something small, right? And teach them, okay, we're going to really start focusing on protein. And let's get you to the gym twice a week. And this is like this soft, like gentle, but it's still discipline, right? They're still committing to doing these things, but it's not super overwhelming. And my hope is that it comes from a place of like self-care, right? Okay, I want this because I want to be, feel better about myself this year or this winter. I'm doing this because yes, I objectively, see when I look at myself in the mirror that it's not what I want to see. And I want to feel better. I want to be able to play with my kids. I want to be able to go up the stairs and not, be total breathless. And I want these things. But at the same time, I also like myself and I respect myself. So this kind of discipline is different and you still stick with it, right? If you have committed to eating high protein, eating protein at every meal, and then getting to the gym twice a week, you still need discipline, right? You need that. You cannot do it without it. Like I said, motivation will go away. Then you have discipline and you have to remind yourself, what were my goals, right? My goals were XYZ. You have to name your goals before you start this, this program, whatever, you start with, setting your goals and remembering why you want to do this. The why is actually really, really important so that you can stay disciplined. So some of you know that I'm also an ice bath guide, right? So I guide people through their ice bath, and I always tell them, have an intention first, because when you have this intention, this is what you want to come back to when things get difficult in this freaking cold, ice cold water, right? Because it happens to everybody. You're in the water, like, oh, I don't want to do this. This is so bad. It hurts. Get me out of here. And then like, what was your intention? What was your why? And that will always usually get people through this, the 2 minutes or whatever we are setting for them, the goal. So the same thing for you too. In order to stay, to have that discipline, you have to remember, why did I want to do this? And also, like I said, don't set the bar so high that you're, telling yourself that you have to do ridiculous things, because your discipline is rooted in self-hate and self-punishment. So there's a big difference in there. And I think sometimes discipline is kind of like misunderstood too. Some people are saying as if you don't ever need any discipline, all you ever need is, take care of yourself and love yourself. But also, yes, you can and you should, but also you have to be more disciplined if you have a specific goal. If you have a goal and you just, sit at home and do nothing because, somebody told you that this is self-care and you have to just like feel this amazing sense of love for yourself without even like doing anything else. I don't know. I don't know that this is doable. I think we have to have some kind of like guidelines here that put us on the right path, and discipline is needed for that, we want it or not. So these are my thoughts on gym breaks and discipline. So how do you get to that discipline, that level of discipline where you're like, I really want to go to the gym? Well, this is with practice, right? This is because you've been doing this for a while. And now this is just something that you do. This is something who you are. And this is now your healthy habit. So healthy habits is the third topic that I wanted to talk about today. And I think sometimes it is very surprising for people how much time it actually takes to build those healthy habits. And there are always so many temptations. And of course, we have to realize that our brain is wired a certain way. So if you're always doing things a certain way, now we want to change it. Let's say that, we're always used to, I don't know, go eat out, right? Or get a takeout. This is automatically where your brain goes. And if you are now telling your brain that we're going to change the habit, we're going to start cooking at home, your brain doesn't want to do it. It's not familiar. It's not familiar. It's a new thing. It's like there's a resistance there, but it's going to take a lot of many repetitions of overcoming this resistance before the new thing can become a healthy habit. So now you're cooking at home, for example, but it doesn't happen overnight. So just today, one of my clients told me that, wow, I'm actually only now starting to see how much practice it has really taken for me to get that squat really good. So she has been working a lot on her squat mobility, and now slowly and, but surely she has been able to put on some more plates on her barbell and squat with that. And she said, I'm so surprised how long it has taken for me to get into the habit and start seeing the results of this repetition, right? And it is true, healthy habits, they don't come like suddenly. They don't come like, oh, I decided January 1st that this is going to change and boom, now I have a new habit. It doesn't happen like this. It's just repetition, doing the thing that you don't always like, still doing it again, using your discipline and getting it done. So the same friend that I mentioned earlier, who also told me that she's been sick, but she's really missing the gym. We had another conversation that same evening with her, and we talked about food. And, we both talked about, obviously she has a bodybuilding background. She was in this work for well over a decade, close to two. And she said, I'm not tracking anything anymore. I'm not doing any of that stuff, but because I tracked for a long time, I learned what healthy eating looks like. My go-to is always like, I'm going to get a piece of protein, I'm going to get a lot of vegetables, and then I'm going to get some starchy carbohydrates. And that's my plate every time. This is what I do. And exactly the same for me too. We've just practiced it for so long, healthy habits. It's not like, oh, I learned from macros. I did this for 2 months. Now I'm going to set the macros aside. Now I'm going to eat like I don't know who, again, and, not care what I eat. I'm going to go to like, I don't know, McDonald's, whatever. These things are just not options. We're just not doing these things because they're not part of our habits. And it has time to build those healthy habits so that now you know how to put together a plate and it has become your second nature. This is what you do. And this is really, sometimes it can take years. It can take years to get all these things to where you want them to be, to eat healthy, make really nice homemade meals. Nice, I don't mean nice like, I always say that I'm no Jamie Oliver. I don't mean nice that way, but like healthy homemade meals, so that you are getting everything that you need into your diet, so that you are going to the gym consistently, you're doing the workouts, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to become a habit, you have to put in a ton of reps. And you have to have this discipline that comes from a place of self-improvement and self-love. So these are some of the thoughts that I have for you today, a little bit this and a little bit of that, but I hope this was helpful. So I guess my main message here is that you do need discipline, even if somebody is like tells you that, you just have to be kind to yourself. And yes, but why can't we have discipline at the same time? You can be kind to yourself and still be disciplined, because you know that's going to be good for you. And, healthy habits are created by a lot of repetition. It's just going to the gym, rep and rep and rep and rep, and this is how you get better. And this is in every area of your life. I'm not telling you that I have everything organized in my life. Not at all. I got the gym thing down pretty well. I got the food thing down pretty well. But there are certainly some areas where things are not going well at all because I haven't put in the reps to get really good at them. And I know many of you are doing so much better in these areas than I'm doing. So we all have something to learn, some things to learn. And, it's really a matter of asking yourself how much it matters to me, because maybe it doesn't matter to you a whole lot, then why would you even start that thing? But if it matters to you and if your life is going to change as a result of implementing these new things, then you have to put in some work and have some discipline to get things done. All right, so this is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for being here. Again, I want to remind you that make sure that you join my Fit and Fuel Facebook group. A lot of good conversations going on there. And I hope to see you again in the next episode. Thanks so much and see you soon.